Hey, what's going on, Who That Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. And I want to thank everybody for tuning back in. You probably know, some of you probably know that I did a show earlier today. But we got some news, man. I wanted to, talk a little bit about, as some of you already know, the Cleveland Browns have released wide receiver Jarvis Landry. Jarvis Landry is a multi-time Pro Bowler. He came to the Cleveland Browns after he had a couple years with the Miami Dolphins, and he put up some decent numbers. Not last year. He had about 52 receptions, not even close to 1,000 yards and only 2 touchdowns. But Jarvis Landry is, a great player. He's really talented. And anytime a guy like this gets released, you know that members of the Who Dat Nation are going to be wondering to themselves, will the Saints go after him, especially since the Saints are one of 2 teams, or the other team is the Kansas City Chiefs, that are going after Jarvis Landry, the ones that showing interest. The question on everyone's mind is, should the Saints sign Jarvis Landry? Jarvis Landry, like I said, I just said he's extremely talented. The dude is out there. He can ball out. I mean, he catches anything in this vicinity. And all of us have familiarity with Jarvis Landry from the time that he played at LSU alongside Odell Beckham Jr. And we know the numbers that they put up in the LSU offense. Now, if he was to come to New Orleans Saints, would I see him making an impact? And the answer is yes. I do think that Jarvis Landry would make an impact playing for the New Orleans Saints. A guy that's a seasoned veteran, a guy that's been around the block, a guy that's a model citizen. I mean, this dude is one of those guys that's a high character guy. Everybody likes him. He's a guy that, that's a leader. And I think that he would be a good fit with the New Orleans Saints, because I think one thing that Jarvis Landry does, Jarvis Landry, he's not the fastest person in the world. He's not going to beat anybody deep. But what he can do is he can work that slot. And this is something that I feel like the Saints have been missing over the last couple of years. A guy that can convert on third down. I mean, we've seen this in the past. We've seen it with guys like Lance Moore. We've seen it with guys like Willie Snead. Well, this guy's more talented than, honestly, than both of those guys. No disrespect to Lance Moore, but Jarvis Landry inside of the slot can do some damage. Now, I know some members of the Who Dat Nation will probably say, well, Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry are kind of similar, right? Both of these guys aren't the fastest guy in the world. Both of these guys are fundamentally sound, and both of these guys gotta just run short routes, right? If you look at Jarvis Landry numbers over the course of the years, I got it right here. He catches a lot of passes, but he's not getting like 1,600 yards, right? So, people are saying, well, what about yards after the catch? Well, I mean, he gets yards after the catch, of course. He's probably not going to beat anybody, after he gets the ball, but he's going to fight for a few extra yards, and he's going to get you those first downs. I do think that they're similar, but what I feel like Michael Thomas can do, and I think a lot of people don't give Michael Thomas this much credit, is Michael Thomas can do a lot more things than people think that he can. I know people have this joke going around calling him slant boy, and all he runs is slants and out routes and all that kind of stuff and 10 and ends. But you have to take into account why Michael Thomas was running those routes. You have to take into account why Michael Thomas was limited in the route tree. Drew Brees was the quarterback. Drew Brees did not have the arm strength, the arm talent to throw the ball down the field consistently the way that you would need, you would need a quarterback to throw. So I think a lot of those passes, that were short was due to the fact that Drew Brees couldn't get the ball down the field. But now if you was to get a guy, re-sign a guy like Jameis Winston, if you were to get a guy like Deshaun Watson, you will have a guy in Michael Thomas that can do a little bit more than people are giving him credit for. I feel like this year will be the year where people really start to give Michael Thomas his credit for being one of the best receivers in the league. This has been one thing that has been holding a lot of people back from giving him the notch, being the best wide receiver in the league. and that was the fact of a lot of people have not seen him catch a lot of deep passes down the field. Now, we've seen him catch the passes. Of course, we've seen a couple deep passes come his way, but it was very few and far in between. I think this is the year where people really start to wake up and their eyes become open and acknowledge Michael Thomas as being one of the best wide receivers in the league. But it will also help if you got a guy like Jarvis Landry. We know that Jarvis Landry is a guy that can get open. We know that he can win his one-on-one matchup. So if another team is double teaming Michael Thomas and you're jamming him and and you're trying to get him out of the game, you have another guy who's a solid number 2 receiver. If you need him to be a number 1, he can, and Jarvis Landry to come in. Now, even though the Saints if they were to sign Jarvis Landry, I'm in no way saying that they are out the woods. I'm in no way saying that they should be out of the wide receiver sweepstakes, because the Saints wide receiver group is not very good. Okay. They're not very good. I know we talk about Callaway and that's fine and all that kind of stuff, but I do feel like the New Orleans Saints need to get a little bit more firepower. I am so used to the New Orleans Saints having, high-powered offense, guys that can go out there and get open. If one guy is being taken out of the game, another guy is stepping up, giving you 85 to 100 yards receiving. That is what I want to see out of the New Orleans Saints. And you have to give the New Orleans Saints a lot of credit, because the Saints could easily, be one of those teams like, oh, man, we're going through a transition and shut it down. The Saints are business as usual. They are trying to make sure that they put the right pieces in place in order for them to be a championship contender. Anybody that's out here saying, oh, man, the Saints are rebuilding, you are sadly mistaken. This team is not rebuilding. This team is re-upping, and they're trying to go for it. Even though you hear talks about Deshaun Watson, we're hearing talks, possibly Jameis Winston comes back. This team wants to win. This team has a really good defense. To me, the Saints got the best defense in football. Last season, they had one of the best defenses. You neutralized some of the best quarterbacks in the league? Are you kidding me? They neutralized Aaron Rodgers. They neutralized Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? Like they had these guys looking very pedestrian. So for anybody, I don't understand, like anybody saying that the Saints are rebuilding. This is a talented football team. And if you add some wide receivers, you add a quarterback that can go out there, that can get the ball to these guys in order for these dudes to make plays, you are going to be very excited watching the New Orleans Saints play. I mean, as much as I love the New Orleans Saints, man, it was boring watching that offense last season. It was like watching paint dry. It was like me watching a golf tournament or something like that. I mean, it was boring, okay? I mean, it's when you are looking at bright spots, and the one bright spot that you're looking at is your punter, punting inside, you know what I'm saying, landing the ball inside the 4-yard line, or, you know what I'm saying, putting the ball at the 1 and talking about how good your punter is. It tells you everything you need to know about your offense is not very good. All right, so I want to see the New Orleans Saints get back to being that fire-powered offense that we know that they can be. And they got the coaches to get that out of them. I know people are talking about Sean Payton not coming back. Oh, Sean Payton's not here. Sean Payton not here. Look, Pete Carmichael is capable of calling plays. And when Pete Carmichael has called plays, the Saints have averaged nearly 400 freaking yards of offense. So to say that Pete Carmichael is not capable of calling plays, that Pete Carmichael is not capable of getting the best out of these players, if you put the right players, if you put the talented players in place, then I think that the Saints will be capable of really making some noise in the NFC. And then we also have to understand, folks, this isn't like the Saints of old. I feel like the Saints can go out here and they can get a guy like Cam Merritt, or they can get a guy like a Ted Ginn Jr., or they can get a guy, like one of these middle of the pack wide receivers. They can go out here and get a guy that don't have that much experience, because they had a cheat code in Drew Brees. Drew Brees can get the best out of those guys. He can help them see the field. You don't have that luxury anymore. A lot of guys that are quarterbacks, they need quality, high-powered offensive players around them in order for them to succeed. The days of getting pedestrian receivers and they just good at running out routes, or you got that one receiver that can take the top off the defense and that's the only thing that he does. The days of that in the Saints offense is over. It's over. Finito, kaput. All right. So they are really going for it, and you got to give the Saints a lot of credit. I respect the hell out of what the Saints are doing. Even though some members of the Who Dat Nation are not excited about some of the aggressive moves that the Saints are making, hey, at least they're not sitting on their hands. At least they're not just sitting back and watching the Jacksonville Jaguars make it rain on every available free agent possible. I mean, the Jacksonville Jaguars are spending that Skrilla, okay? I mean, they are throwing money around, man. It's like they playing Madden with the salary cap off. But the Saints are really being aggressive, and they're really trying to put the best pieces in place to make this team the most formidable possible. And I love the hell out of them for doing that. So shouts out to the New Orleans Saints. Should they sign Jarvis Landry? In my opinion, yes, they should. I think that he would be a good, solid receiver in the Saints organization. And I think that he would embrace the fact that he's playing at home. You know, he's playing in Louisiana. He's playing among his people. And, you know, guys, when they're playing in their home state or they're in their hometown, they take it as a badge of honor. And those guys go out there and they try to put on for their city. Jarvis Landry was already talented. So you already put the incentive, the fact that he's actually playing for the team that he grew up watching on television. And he went to school not too far from where the Superdome is, an hour and 30 minutes in Baton Rouge. You have to say that that's an incentive for him to come to the Big East. But I'm going to go ahead and read some of your comments, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Let's start with, all right, he's a younger Emmanuel Sanders style player. Yeah, I agree with that. That's a good comparison. But the only thing I would say is Emmanuel Sanders is faster than he is. Emmanuel Sanders was a blazer. I think he ran like a 4.3 coming out of SMU. So, yes, you know, they're both fundamentally sound, but Emmanuel Sanders is a little bit faster than Jarvis Landry is. Mike T, a beast. Y'all going to see this year. Yeah. I mean, look, it won't surprise me. I mean, if he comes out and be a beast, I mean, he is who he is. He already a beast. I think he's a beast. I just think that people limit his capabilities and they don't put him in that conversation as being one of the best wide receivers in the league because, you know, because of the route tree. A lot of people feel like he can't go deep. He can't catch deep passes. He can't catch 50-50 balls. I believe that he can. I just think that, you know, the opportunity hasn't presented itself as many times for people to be convinced that he is a top receiver. To me, he is, you know, because I always tell people the one thing that makes a person elite in my eyes, what makes them elite is the fact that, you know, if they go out there and everybody in the stadium, everybody on the opposite side of the, you know, on the opposite field knows that you about to get the football and you still get the football and there's nothing you can do about it. So if you know he running slants, why not stop it? Why you can't neutralize it? So it's obviously he's doing something that you can't stop. So that to me, you know, that's the role of a guy that's elite. You know, I don't fall into that category like you gotta catch 60-yard bombs down the field. I just think that that's just a narrative that's put out there for people to, you know, be like, oh, well, that's why he's the best receiver. I don't believe that. Facts, TJ. And can we get a running back in the draft? I think the Saints might get a running back late. Who that to the family, man? Thank y'all for being here. I really do appreciate it. Saints are going after it. This is the new era. Yeah. And this is something that Saints fans been wanting for a long time, right? This is what we've been wanting. We've been wanting for the Saints to be aggressive. We used to be mad at the New Orleans Saints because all the teams around the Saints seemed like they were picking guys and we were just sitting there on the sidelines. So be careful what you wish for. You got it. So what's the problem? Facts, TJ. Saints offense was hot-ish. Man, yeah, it was terrible. Saints offense was terrible. Trash last year. I mean, dudes couldn't catch a cold. Dudes couldn't get separation to save their mama life. I mean, it was bad, man. It was bad to watch the New Orleans Saints. As much as we are Saints fans here, Man, it was some rough games. I'm telling you, man. I tell you, like I was doing a lot of things, opposite of watching the Saints game just to stay busy. I was looking at the game and focus on it. But man, if my car need to be washed, the dishes need to be washed or something, I was doing that too. Because I mean, there were very few games that generated that type of excitement. I mean, I can probably count on one hand how many games that just left me on the edge of my seat. Like, man, you know what I'm saying? Let's go. I mean, of course, we have to say that Tampa Bay Buccaneers game, both of those. The Falcons game where they lost, that kept you on the edge of your seat. The last game of the season, of course, that kept you on the edge of your seat because the Saints were playing for a playoff spot. But it was very few and far in between too many games. I mean, the first game of the season against the Green Bay Packers, that had you excited. So I guess you can say those 5 games right there are the games that really stood out. But, I mean, it was boring as hell watching the New Orleans Saints. Seriously. Saints are going after some dogs that we need. Yeah, it's time for the Saints to, bring on a new personality. The Sean Payton era is over. And I know some people wanted Dennis Allen to be the head coach of the New Orleans Saints because of his familiarity, and everybody knows him, and he's close to Sean Payton, and he'll be more likely to keep everybody intact. So I can understand that, but this is his team, and coaches want their team to resemble their personality. And to me, I think that Dennis Allen has a little bit more of a fiery personality than Sean Payton. I think that Dennis Allen wears his heart on his sleeve. He's emotional. You see him on the sidelines when the Saints defense making stops, they catching interceptions. I mean, he fired up, man. He pushing Sean Payton and stuff like that. I mean, he's animated, and coaches want guys to resemble them. They want them to have that type of mentality. And to me, I just think that the Saints, one thing that I want them to be, and I feel like they're going to be with Dennis Allen, is a more physical team. I look at them being a more of a run-oriented team. I think that you're going to see more run-based packages, out there. You might even see what we've been looking for a long time, which Josh been alluding to for a long time, which is a 3 running back set. So I can see the Saints in some ways possibly resembling the San Francisco 49ers. I'm serious. I mean, I think that you might see the New Orleans Saints looking like a completely different team and more aggressive. They're an aggressive team, the way they were playing with Sean Payton, but I think they're going to be even more aggressive with Dennis Allen. TJ, I agree. I've been saying the wide receiver room needed upgrading after the 2017 season. Kim, that's a good point. But like I said, I think that a lot of the reasons that the Saints decided not to go getting wide receivers because they took Drew Brees. I won't say they took him for granted, but they had Drew Brees and they felt like they had an advantage. That's why you can go out here and get this defensive player, that defensive player to try to work on the defense because Drew Brees can make it work, right? Drew Brees was the MacGyver of the Saints offense, right? If you ever watched MacGyver always coming up with inventions to try to get out of difficult situations. Might use a paper clip, a rubber band, some chewing gum, like he gonna make it work. Drew Brees was the same way. Drew Brees was the MacGyver of the Saints offense. He can make it work. He can tell Deontay Harris or Deontay Harty to go deep or, stay inside. I'm about to give you this wide receiver screen. He can tell Michael Thomas to, break that route. If you see this type of coverage, he could tell Cesar Ruiz to slide this way instead of slide that way. Like you had a cheat code out there on the field. You don't have that luxury anymore. You need players to be able to do their job and do their job effectively. You no longer have that enabler anymore. So I think the Saints, that's the main reason why they've been kind of, inept at the wide receiver position all this time. And we've been seeing teams go out here and get star players that can make all these 50-50 balls, 50-50 catches, and seeing these guys run these routes and make these spectacular catches because they have all these different receivers on the team with those type of capabilities. With the Saints, they're more focused on receivers being fundamentally sound, and that was good enough for Drew, right? Let's get a couple throws out here after practice or before practice. and let me see what your tendencies are. I'll tell you what I'm looking for. I'll tell you when to stop on this route. I'll tell you, when I'm, looking for this back shoulder fade, be looking for this. Like Drew Brees enabled a lot of the situation. But now we look at it. Drew Brees is gone, and we seen a lot of the things, that we thought were, stable. They're not. That just, to me, Drew Brees was already great. But this year that just passed just completely amplified his greatness. Like, seriously, it showed you like how important Drew Brees was to the Saints offense. I'm still all in on Winston, and just keep players and picks and build around my boy. But if we do get Watson, I'm okay with it as well. Just want to see Jameis Winston finish writing the book he started. Who that? Hoodie Juve, thank you very much for the $9.99. And look, I'm all for Jameis Winston. I've been saying this, man. I mean, I've had a couple podcast episodes about Deshaun Watson. Yes, I have. And yes, if Deshaun Watson was become the Saints quarterback, I would embrace that. But I am a Jameis Winston fan. I would like for Jameis Winston to be the starting quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. And I understand that the Saints are just trying to get the best possible, and ain't nothing wrong with that. If they weren't trying to get the best possible, then I would say I have a problem with that. But they are going for it. And I think that we as Saints fans need to have an appreciation for that. But I'm a Jameis Winston fan. One thing about this draft, these receivers got some speed, and they're going to be there in the third round. Yeah, man, you got some burners, but can these dudes, like, man, look, I don't fall for that 4-2, 4-1. I don't care about that stuff, because at the end of the day, it's about, do you have the capabilities of playing the wide receiver position? Anybody can work out for the combine. I mean, it's similar to if you want to run the Boston Marathon or something, right? You train year round, you work at it, you build up your endurance, you build up your cardio, right? You know what I'm saying? To get yourself prepared. A lot of these guys, they link up with world-class fitness trainers and help them with their endurance and help them improve their vertical and help them improve their speed. And that's cool, right? You need speed. Speed, you know what I'm saying, is very important to play in the National Football League. But can you run them routes, though? Right? You know what I'm saying? Can you run them routes? Can you win your matchups? A lot of these guys fast, man, but man, that just means that you're fast. But can you play the wide receiver position at a high level? I mean, it's impressive. Of course, you know what I'm saying? A guy running 40 yards in 4.2 seconds, and like, that's impressive. But at the same time, man, can you run the routes? Can you get me what I need, which is touchdowns and production on a consistent basis? Not 1 and 2 games out the season, but consistently. Can you do that? So I mean, that's the important thing to me. Let's not act like he had the best quarterback over the years. His quarterback probably rarely threw the ball in stride where he can actually get the yards after the catch. Oh, by the way, we need to snatch Dalvin Cook, younger brother. Yeah, man. I mean, Dalvin Cook, brother, he's a really talented running back as well, man. I mean, I enjoy watching him, in the SEC do his thing. But look, here's the thing, man. I think the New Orleans Saints do need to get themselves a young running back. I like the fact that Mark Ingram is still going to be here, but I do feel like Mark Ingram, as willing and able as he is, and I think that, he's a fan favorite. He's still on the opposite side of 30, where guys start to slow down and injuries start to add up. I mean, he got here. I mean, that first game, I mean, he had an 18-yard gain on his first carry, with the New Orleans Saints. I mean, everybody was fired up in the Superdome, happy to see Mark Ingram. But look, man, you need yourself a younger guy. And hopefully you can get yourself a younger guy that has the talent to catch the ball and run in between the tackles, because Alvin Kamara going to get suspended. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or maybes. He's going to get suspended, folks. So brace yourself. I mean, strap in. So all you would have is Mark Ingram, and you will have to count on Mark Ingram being healthy enough for 4 games to carry that load. And I don't believe that at the age of 32, 31, I don't think that he has that capability anymore. You need somebody to be able to complement him. So if you can get yourself a younger running back, and hopefully when Alvin Kamara comes back, like I mentioned, you can probably have that 3 running back set where you can, you know what I'm saying, you can really run the ball and wear down the defense. You would have that combination. So they definitely going to need a running back, rather they get one in the NFL draft or they trade for one. One I would like would be Saquon Barkley. I mean, some people might say, oh man, Saquon is always hurt, but Saquon gives you that same type of production, gives you that same type of yards after the catch, running in between the tackles, catching the ball out of the backfield as Alvin Kamara. So can you imagine both of those guys sharing the workload and adding in Mark Ingram also to tote that mail too? And don't say that, oh man, those 3 running backs, that just don't work. We know that it can work. You know what I'm saying? It's a possibility that it can work. So I would love to see Saquon Barkley in the Saints uniform. And I think that it would help him, because even though, you know, he has a history of being injured, you limit his snap count, it would help him to stay healthy throughout the entire season. You know, you don't have to worry about him toting it 30, 31 times, getting 30, 31 touches, you know. Like you're sharing it with Alvin Kamara, you're sharing it with Mark Ingram, and you'll be extremely productive. I mean, I don't know if that'll be possible, because maybe the Saints will look at Saquon and be like, man, him and Alvin are probably one and the same. To me, I don't think they are. Saquon's a little bit more bigger, a little bit more physical, you know, at the end of his runs than Alvin Kamara is. Alvin Kamara is a little bit more shifty, but I think they both can work. And I think they could be a good 1-2 punch. And you add Mark Ingram running up the middle as well. You know how physical he is. Man, that can be one hell of a combination, if you ask me. And we know that Saquon Barkley is on the trading block right now. You know, it seems like the New York Giants are trying to go in a completely different direction. I like the new aggressive approach. Is different for sure. Yeah, I don't think you're going to get this type of aggression if Sean Payton was the head coach. And once again, I just think that it has a lot to do with Dennis Allen trying to change the narrative. Look, man, we know. Look, we don't talk about it, but it's apparent. The dude was 8-28 as a head coach. So you combine that with Mickey Loomis, knowing that he needs to bring something to the New Orleans Saints. I mean, you lose Drew Brees, you lose Sean Payton. A couple of years ago, you lost Anthony Davis. Zion Williamson haven't been playing. You need a spark inside of the Big Easy, right? I mean, C.J. McCollum has been doing a really good job at bringing that spark when he got, acquired from Portland. But when you got a guy that's, marquee, like a Deshaun Watson, a guy that's marquee, in my opinion, in a Jarvis Landry, a multi-time Pro Bowler, a guy that's, has the capabilities of being talented like a Jameis Winston, taking his talents and becoming, a really good quarterback with him. I mean, they are really trying to find ways to try to generate excitement and have the Saints fans believing the same type of belief that you had when Drew Brees and Sean Payton were with the team. Like a lot of us, honestly, we kind of took a back seat. A lot of us have, lowered our expectations. And I talked about this at the beginning of the season, right? And as the season progressed, I'm like, man, I lowered my expectations. When Jameis Winston went down in that game versus Tampa, I said, man, I kind of lowered my expectations. But I don't want to continue and consistently lower my expectations when I'm talking about the Saints. And Mickey Loomis, Dennis Allen don't want you to do it either. They want you to believe when you walk into the Caesars Superdome. They want you to believe when you're sitting down watching this team on television that they have the same chance at a Super Bowl championship as the Rams, as the Packers, as the Bucks, as Tom Brady has come back, as some of these top teams in the NFC. They want you to believe that the Saints are not only just going to go out there and be competitive, but go out there and actually beat these guys and make their way to a championship. I know that's what I want. I mean, I'm going to be a Saints fan regardless. I don't care if they go 17-0 or 1-16. I'm still going to be a Saints fan at the end of the day. But I want the best product on the field, okay? I want to believe that the New Orleans Saints every single year are a Super Bowl contender. And if anything else, in the words of Charles Barkley, would be uncivilized. Can we afford to sign Watson and Jarvis? Yeah, yes, we can. Yes, we can. The Saints can move some things around. They can extend Deshaun Watson's contract out by signing him. It'll actually help the cap rather than hinder it. And then not to mention what you'll be giving up for him. Those first round picks in which who you have to sign, right? So yes, they can sign both of them. Absolutely. What do you think about Callaway at the third receiver? I think that Callaway has the capability of being a third receiver, but I'm in no way going into training camp saying, hey, you're our third receiver. No, you're going to earn it like everybody else. And you put somebody out there that's going to compete for that third spot. That's what you do. You bring somebody in there that's going to compete with Callaway, because I like Callaway a lot, but he was inconsistent last season. And the only reason why we're saying a third receiver, let's just be honest about this, folks. It has very little to do with his talent, more so than us actually liking the dude. Oh, I like him. You know what I'm saying? He has a little something there. He shows a little promise on the field, and we know how we work as Saints fans. As long as you're out there trying, working hard, we're going to find a place for you. We don't want to get rid of you. We like you because you try hard, right? That's the reason why people up here talking about make Taysom Hill the starter, because we love Taysom Hill. We like the fact that he tries hard. We like the fact that he plays with heart and spunk and all that kind of stuff there. But look, heart and spunk ain't about to get me 100 yards every single game. Heart and spunk is not going to have you out there balling out if a guy goes down. I want my third receiver to be Michael Gallup. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want my third receiver to be Robbie Anderson. Like a guy that's capable of getting 100 yards. If another guy goes down, he will step into that second row or even that first row. He has the mind frame of a number one receiver, even if he is playing a three. That's what I want. And I like Callaway. I do. But the inconsistency tells me that you need to go out here and try to find somebody else. Look, man, I was sick to my stomach watching this pedestrian ass offense. Seriously. I am not just trying to find, oh, there's a place for him, right? This is not a couch in your living room, right? This isn't a picture on a wall here. I can hang it right here. No, move it over here. I got some space. Let me put this table right here. Man, forget all that. I want a contender. I want a team offensively. When they get off the bus, you had a defensive coordinator has been up all freaking night. I mean, honestly, the defensive coordinators of the opposing team that the Saints have played, I'm pretty sure slept like a baby. Probably slept like they slept on a posturepedic bed going into a game versus the Saints, because nobody was scared of Trevor Siemian. Nobody was scared of Taysom Hill. Nobody was afraid of Marquez Callaway or Juwan Johnson or Adam Troutman or Nick Vernett. Nobody was afraid of them. Them boys slept like a baby. Probably got the best sleep they ever had in years going up against the Saints offense. And have you ever thought in your lifetime, after watching Sean Payton coach this team, after watching Drew Brees throw for 300, 400 yards, have you ever thought in your wildest dreams that you will watch a pedestrian-ass New Orleans Saints offense take the field? Not me. So, as far as Marquez Callaway, I like him, but you got to compete, my dude. You find yourself somebody that can compete with this dude, that's a dog. I want a Michael Gallup type number 3. I want a CeeDee Lamb. I mean, how you want to slice it, you ever want to cut it, right? You had Cedric Griffin out here who just got paid, who played for the Cowboys. This dude was like a number 4. That's what I want. I want a guy that if he leads the New Orleans Saints next year, this man getting a big-time contract like a Cedric Griffin, whatever his name is, Wilson, Griffin, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want somebody that when they leave, be like, man, we done lost something. I want my number 3 to get a 3-year contract like Michael Gallup did. That's what I want. I want him to be a tough decision. Like, man, I hate to see this dude go, but he played his way out of New Orleans like a Trey Hendrickson did. That's what I want. But forget all this. Oh, man, he good. We can find a place for him. Nah, I ain't find a place for nobody, man. Finding a place for somebody, those days are over, Who Dat Nation. It's over for me. I ain't trying to find no more places. You found a place for Kevin White. You know what I'm saying? Like, you found a place for Ethan Wolf. Like, that's what you found a place for those guys. I don't want to find no more places for you, right? We got a little room in the corner. Nah, bro. We about to violate the fire code. We at full capacity. We want some dogs. I want some dogs. I want some winners out there for the New Orleans Saints. I don't want no do-gooders. I don't want no well-wishers. I want some dogs. I want some hoo, 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 hoo. I want some dogs. That's what I want, dog. For real. I don't want no more nice guys. I don't want no friendly faces. And you know what I'm saying? Some guys that's scared to go out there and get it. I want a number 3 who thinks like a number 1. And if you're not a number 1, if you don't think that you're a number 1, I don't need you on my team. Yeah, I mean, for real, I want some dogs. I don't know what y'all want. I don't want no more well wishes, man. Got a lot of love for Juice, but I think we should be looking at a James Washington or Zay Jones on the cheap. Well, Zay Jones is gone, man. Zay Jones, like I said, the Jacksonville Jaguars making it rain. Zay Jones is now with the Jaguars. James Washington is a very talented player. I don't know if I don't know if the Steelers gonna get rid of that dude. He pretty damn talented. People, if you have a chance to get a franchise quarterback like Winston, you pull the damn trigger. I love J-Bo. I guess you mean Deshaun, Kimberly. I get what you're saying. I love J-Bo, but come on now, y'all. Y'all talking feelings over facts. Look, I already mentioned it, and I already said it, and shouts out to my guy, Matt Moscona, who I heard earlier today. And he talked about how this dude went to court, and basically a lot of us are making these thoughts based on our feelings about how we feel. You know, the Deshaun Watson situation should go. Here's the reality. The last time this dude was the starting quarterback in the National Football League, he led the league in passing yards. He had his best year statistically. Dude only threw 7 interceptions. And dude was one of the top quarterbacks in the league. So you can talk about your feelings all you want to, but here's the reality. Winning solves all of that. I don't care what y'all say. You can think about all the people in the past. Oh, Joe Mixon. He's so terrible, right? You know what I'm saying? I ain't never going to cheer for Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon almost won Super Bowl MVP. I ain't never going to cheer for Ben Roethlisberger. The man got a standing ovation his last game in Heinz Field. Oh, Ray Lewis, what a horrible human being. Man got a statue outside M&T Bank. The reality is we get so riled up. We get so emotional, right? We get called Thomas. We're emotional, right? We get emotional when they're talking about these players. But when the dust settles, when the smoke clears, the only thing that we care about is them W's. Sorry, folks. You know, like your feelings, I mean, they take a back seat. You know, I mean, you ever heard that term, F your feelings? That's how they feel. This is a business. This is a business. These people are trying to get paid. They're trying to get that Skrilla. They're trying to make this team more appealing to a wider audience. They want primetime television games. They want people in their seats. They want asses in seats. So your feelings takes a back seat. And people, oh man, well, if you're alienated of a base. Well, I'm telling you, man, you may feel that way today, but 5, 6, 7 years from now, if Deshaun Watson is putting up Drew Brees type numbers over the course of his career in the New Orleans Saints uniform, none of us are going to sit up here and be talking about what happened back in 2020, what happened back in 2021. Nobody is going to care. Why are we sitting up here trying to fake pretend and talk all slow and act as if we care about this so deeply? Some of us do, but the majority of us are basically just trying to say what we feel is right. All I'm saying is, why do we have court systems? Why do we go to court? Why are people proven guilty or not guilty? Why are these guys, you know what I'm saying, why we have this system in place if a guy is going to get out and people saying, well, he's still guilty and I'm going to treat him as such? I'm not going to do that. Now, if some new evidence come through, man, look, I'm washing my hands. I'm out. You got me. But as of right now, based on what happened in court this past last Friday, dude can be my quarterback. I'm just saying if push comes to shove. I'm still on Jameis. I'm still on the Jameis bandwagon, but I'm just saying, if they do make this trade, I'm all for it. It's because our defense is loaded. We loaded up on that side of the ball. Yeah, no doubt about it, man. I mean, that defense is loaded. You got a lot of pass rushes. You got a talented secondary. And if you just so happen to lose Marcus Williams and you can replace him with a honey badger, are you freaking kidding me? I mean, honestly, you don't really lose. I won't say you don't lose much because Marcus Williams is talented, but that's one hell of a one hell of a replacement, right? That's a hell of a replacement. You replace Marcus Williams with Tyrann Mathieu? Oh, come on now. Cedric Wilson just got signed by the Dolphins. Pay attention. Yeah. I mean, look, and he was a number 4? You had Amari Cooper out there. You had CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup before he tore his ACL, and Cedric Wilson just got paid. And it ain't even Friday night, folks. Man, this dude, that's what you want, man. That's what you want. Wilson is a solid player. Exactly. Dude played his way out of Dallas. That's what you want, man. You want guys to play themselves out of their situation. If a guy's not playing himself out of his situation, I don't want him. Seriously. I don't look. We have grown accustomed to guys just doing their job. Like, okay, Robert Meacham. Okay, we know he about to run this wide receiver screen. We know he about to run this stretch play. You know what I'm saying? This streak route. We know he about to run this, right? We know that Lance Moore gonna run in the slot. You know what I'm saying? He gonna sit right there. You know what I'm saying right there. You know what I'm saying in the middle of the field for the first down. We know Devin Henderson about to go over the top with the 9 route, right? We know Tavares Cadet was about to catch the ball out of backfield. Man, them days are over. We want some dudes that can go out there, that can do some spectacular things, that can catch those 50-50 balls and be aggressive. That's what we want. See, like I said, we grown accustomed to the Saints way. How you have the Patriot way? There's a Saints way. And when we look at wide receivers, there's a certain way that we look at wide receivers. There's a certain way that we evaluate wide receivers. When they come to the New Orleans Saints, we like, okay, we know exactly what the Saints are going to do with them from the jump. I don't want one-dimensional receivers anymore. One-dimensional receivers is not going to get it done any longer. Drew Brees is gone. One-dimensional receivers, Drew Brees can handle that. Drew Brees can work with that. You don't have Drew Brees anymore. You need some guys that can do some dynamic things at the wide receiver position. And if guys are just out there still counting their steps, 1, 2, 3, cut. Nah, bro. Find yourself another team. I think the Jets, they may have some openings at wide receiver, but we don't need, you know what I'm saying? We don't need nobody, you know what I'm saying, thinking about the last time they was at the salsa class, right? 1, 2, 3, step. 1, 2, 3, move. Nah, bro. I don't want that, man. For real. Take them salsa classes. Take that somewhere else. I don't want that. I want some dogs out there. You should want some too. Watson 27 and Winston is 28. Watson is a top 10 quarterback and Winston is a top 15. It is that big of a gap. Well, based on what we've seen as far as performance, I mean, you have to say you're right about that, right? Based on the situations that they've been in, right? Jameis in Tampa, little sprinkle of New Orleans, right? And you have Deshaun, what he has done in a Texans uniform. I mean, yeah, that's pretty accurate. I mean, I feel that Jameis, with the right situation and some belief, can get you what you want. But if you want something that's a proven product that you know for a fact it is what it is, right? That you know what you're going to have. You know what you got, right? You got to go with Deshaun. But to me, it's a win-win situation. You win with either one of these guys, seriously. Man, I wouldn't want the dude if he ain't going to change. It's okay to mess up, but not okay to not correct it. Well, I agree with that. I agree, you know, the situation that happened. You know, I mean, I can understand that, but to be honest with you, we don't know what happened. Like seriously, we don't know what happened. We are just making speculation. We see 22 people come forward, and I know that's a lot, and I know it sounds like I'm minimizing it. We see 22 people going forward, but think about this, folks. Why? Okay, as much as we can say that Deshaun Watson is guilty, we can admit to that. Okay, some people say, "Man, he guilty. He guilty." Why can't people concede the fact that people lie? Seriously, people lie, man. Like people lie. I'm a man. Like why? It's okay to say that. It's okay to say that and still be sensitive about situations that go on with women with sexual assault and sexual harassment. It's okay. People lie. People lie about all types of situations. So why are we so sure that this dude actually did it? Seriously. Why are we so sure that this dude did it? Because 22 people came forward. Like, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna say it. Anybody ever thought that the man maybe just addicted to sex? Seriously. Like we applaud and laugh and think about people like the nature boy Ric Flair, right? He talk about all his conquests throughout the years, right? Woo, we laugh at old Nate, right? We laugh when we hear about Wilt Chamberlain being with over 10,000 women. How funny would it be if out of those 10,000 women, 50 women came forward and say, well, Wilt Chamberlain did this to me? I mean, I'm serious. Like, anybody ever thought about that? Maybe the dude just addicted to sex. Maybe he just addicted to it, man. You know, like people have their fetishes. But, you know, like I said, man, I don't know. All I know is this dude went to court on Friday and they found no evidence to convict this dude. Seriously. And then here's another thing what people aren't trying to pay attention to. The dude basically said that he is willing to completely exhaust his finances to clear his name. Now, I'm not the smartest man in the world, but not too many people are going to want you to do that if they feel like they just have done something. Now, I've seen people settle it out in court. I've seen that situation before. Maybe he has some civil court cases. Maybe they might go that route. But I have never seen, as far as people just being guilty, for them to exhaust their funding. Well, you gotta, I don't know. You know, I got an idea about a person, but nevertheless, I don't really see that often. I just see people, man, just go ahead and get this out. You know what I'm saying? Pay them. Let's get this over with. This man said he is willing to exhaust his finances to clear his freaking name. Does that account for anything? Of course not. Of course not. Because if you like basically, if somebody, okay, if you said that I'm not a liar, I don't lie. 5 people came out and say, man, you lied to me. Man, you lied. He a liar. He a liar. So if 5 people come out, even though you're telling the truth, are you telling me that everybody's supposed to believe that you're a liar based on the fact that 5 people said it? But that's how the world works. You know, and honestly, people know that. People know it. You know what I'm saying? They know it because nobody is going to sit back and just evaluate every single person's story. Nobody's going to do that. They just going to add to it. So you probably have 3 people over here, you know what I'm saying, that probably said something. Then you have like another 10 who probably just came out and just adding on to it. It happens, folks. Why is it that we can't say this? Like, seriously. Oh, you being insensitive, TJ. No, I'm not. People lie. Like, people lie all the time, man. Like, people lie about those situations all the time in order for them to try to get a bag, because they count on individuals not wanting to deal it out in court and you know, bringing public scrutiny on themselves. So they like, okay, man, just get it out of here. I just want it over with, so they can get a quick little bag. Like I said, I mean, if we're so sure about this dude being guilty, if we so sure and we can say, oh man, this dude is guilty, Why can't, like, if you're so sure about that, why you just can't concede and say, okay, if you think the dude guilty, there's a possibility that he's guilty, right? Why can't you say there's a possibility that people lie? Why are you so sure about that? You can't be. All your emotions as of right now are just based on speculation. So I'm sorry. Well, I'm not sorry, but it's the truth. All these people that claim they're supporters of women's rights, but no one ever said anything about Carl Granderson, and he was actually sentenced for sexual assault. Period. I ain't got nothing to add to that. Saints ain't it. Mahoney, I guess his name Mahomes, Brady, Rodgers, Allen, Burrow are the top five. Not a bad top five. Not a bad top five at all. But if Deshaun Watson goes out there and he balls his ass off, he'll be in that conversation. Panthers not getting him. Panthers not getting him because, I mean, look, if the Panthers don't make the playoffs or have a good season, Matt Rule on a hot seat. So you might look at it like, man, this dude might be gone after this year. So you commit to a team where you might not even have the same head coach. I mean, me personally, look, it's rather he needs to go to the Saints or the Panthers. I don't think he needs to go to any big market. I don't think he needs to go to Philly. I don't think that he needs to go to any New York team. I don't think he needs to go to any team with a big media market. Seriously. You know, no disrespect to the Saints, but I think they have a very, I won't say a small media market, but a very, in comparison to other cities, it's pretty small. I say that. Yeah, it's pretty small. So I just think that he can move a little bit different than you could in Philly, right? It took a lot for a guy like Michael Vick to come to Philly and change the minds of those people. And some people, he didn't change the mind of those individuals because they couldn't get past, you know, the whole dog fighting situation, right? You had Peter at games and criticizing this dude even when he was comeback player of the year. Deshaun Watson, to me, in this climate, I mean, you got to think about this too. Social media wasn't as strong when Michael Vick went to prison the first time. It was just starting to get that way. It was just starting to get strong. It was just starting to be the wave. But now Deshaun Watson, if you go out there with the power of social media, are you kidding me? Man, it's going to be a tough out for that dude. And especially if he goes out there and he stinks it up and not have a good game. I mean, to me, I feel like he has to play himself back into, to the good graces of the people. But also, I feel like all the stuff that you're going through, man, I mean, you got to be made out of Teflon not to let that stuff get to you. I mean, your livelihood possibly being taken away from you, endorsements being taken away from you, and then you got to go out there and perform for a team that's willing to devour you at any second of your, any second. Like, play good today, but play awful tomorrow. They will turn on you like that. That's the Philly market. So to me, I think he needs to go to a smaller market where he can, maneuver. I mean, you're going to have people in New Orleans, Saints fans, that's probably going to think, a certain way. But to me, I just think that it's a little bit different because there's only a few members of the media that people just actually just trust like that. Not too many people have the ears and the eyes of Saints fans. Very few. I probably can count on one hand how many, like media people, a multitude of Saints fans trust. That's exactly why y'all need a new quarterback after trading for Sam Darnold, then benching him for Cam Newton. Who talking about, man, look, Carolina, man, get yourself together. For real, man. Win some games, and hopefully you can keep your coach before you start talking in here. When your coach can be so good that he decides to step down, then holler at me. Not a coach that's on a hot seat right now that can probably be gone by week 5 if y'all start off slow. I'm just saying. John, y'all ain't been the same in the Stone Age. John getting a laugh out of this. Kim is laughing. Panthers are pathetic. Tell me how you really feel. 777 says, preach. T says Team Watson. Who that? I love Winston, but Watson. Williams ain't no Darren Sharper, so he can go. I don't know, man. Look, man, Marcus Williams is good. I mean, I can understand like how people may feel, because some people never let go of that 2017 season. But the dude, if he leaves, you gonna be missing something. Like let's not just act like this dude would just chop liver out there on the field. Pampers suck. Get out of here. Nah, man, don't do that, man. Panther fan, y'all can stay, man. I hope y'all enjoy the show. Jets just signed CJ Uzama today. Yeah, oh man, that's a good pickup right there. That's a good pickup. Now, if they can get a quarterback, I think there'll be something, okay? Because Zach Wilson ain't it, man. I don't think he built for big time, man. I mean, he comes out of Utah. I don't know, man. I don't know if the dude built like that. I seen some talent. I seen some runs. I seen some arm talent, but I mean, that New York market, man, you got to be Eli Manning. Like, you got to have that type of mentality. But I don't know, man. Maybe his like mind frame is that resemble of Eli Manning. But you gotta be tough to be in the New York market. Like Eli Manning, I just think that he was just a different beast. Damn, Panthers ain't been the same since they got choked out of the Super Bowl. Y'all were just screaming for Rule to be fired. I mean, now y'all want Deshaun Watson. I mean, I'm just saying, man, like, that ain't stability right there. Y'all gonna be mad when y'all find out what they're gonna do with AK. That's all y'all got, because Mike Thomas stay hurt and he's slow. Man, what is you talking about, man? I mean, Alvin Kamara, did he even play against the Carolina Panthers? Did he play in that game? I'm not even sure. The second time they played, did he play in that game? Maybe he did. I don't know. But look, man, Carolina got so many issues right now. I mean, y'all got all that talent. Y'all ought to be ashamed of yourself. How y'all got all that talent? Y'all got Robbie Anderson and CJ Moore. And I mean, y'all got Chris McCaffrey back there. I mean, y'all still couldn't do nothing. Like, seriously. Like, come on, man. I mean, y'all got a couple dogs out there, man. Y'all got J.C. Cohen. I hope that he has a speedy recovery. And you know what I'm saying? Y'all got Dante Jackson, but y'all still ain't doing nothing. I mean, come on, man. Like, win some games and then come back. I mean, I would give them some respect in this regard. When it comes to, like, winning the division and, winning games and honestly being up there when it comes to the NFC South, being a formidable foe, formative foe of the New Orleans Saints, I would give them credit for that. But still, man, y'all ain't done nothing in a while. So y'all kind of in the same boat, if not worse. This dude got to be slow in this chat. Team Watson, who that? I love Winston, but Watson, I already read that one. I don't know if you said that again or I just ran across it twice. Bruh, sound like Deion Sanders affected. We want dogs. Shout out to B I Love, man. I want some dogs, man. Seriously. I don't want no more puppies out here. Limited wide receivers is the reason Peyton has so many packages and that confuse new and younger players. Yeah, I mean, you have 15, 16 personnel packages when normally NFL teams might have 7 or 8. Yeah, I would confuse anybody. I mean, you got to do your homework. I'm pretty sure they playbook look like the yellow pages. And then you have to count the audibles too. My goodness. Without CMC, the Panthers ain't nothing. With CMC, the Panthers ain't nothing. I like both quarterbacks. Watson was a Bill O'Brien away from play in the AFC Championship. Man, people got to remember, man, in that divisional game, the Texans started off hot, right? I think they went up like 24-7 or 24-3. And then all of a sudden, man, Kansas City just woke up and just smacked them boys around. I don't know what happened. It was like, I don't know what was up with that. It was like, man, Freaky Friday. They just switched bodies, right? The Texans started off looking like the Chiefs, and then all of a sudden the Chiefs went back to being the Chiefs. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, that was I think a lot of people aren't giving that man credit, but yeah, he had him there. And not to mention, man, in that great game versus the Buffalo Bills, in the playoffs, man, when he had that spinoff, man, that man was balling. I mean, I don't know what Josh Allen was thinking when he gave up that 30-yard sack. I'm like, man, what is you talking about? Hell, Tom Brady can go play for the Panthers, and they will still be garbage. They'll be garbage with Brady. Still no ring since Breeze right after the hurricane. Yeah. And Panthers still ain't got no rings, right? Before the hurricane, after the hurricane. Hurry up and buy. I feel that TJ free R. Kelly. Slow your roll. Y'all funny. By the way, we won 4 division titles. Y'all 2-10 against the Saints. Watson will be a New Orleans Saint. Believe that. Sorry, Pampers. Baby. Watson for 2 firsts, 2 seconds, Davenport and Lil Jordan. He go throw Lil Jordan in there. Look, honestly, I forgot all about Lil Jordan Humphrey. And in some ways, to me, Lil Jordan Humphrey played better than Callaway. I just don't think Sean Payton liked Lil Jordan. Maybe he wasn't grasping the offense, and maybe having them 14, 15 personnel packages was getting to him. But anytime Lil Jordan's name was called, the man was making some plays. He was catching 24-yard passes. He was catching touchdowns in the back of the end zone. I mean, when his name was called, he was handling his business. And to me, it seemed like he was more ready for the moment than even that of a Callaway. Callaway started to come on towards the end of the season. That's when you start seeing him like, okay, man, he's doing a little something. It was one game, man. I mean, it was basically his whole season in a nutshell. He'll make one good play, and then he'll drop a wide open pass. Then he'll make an even more difficult catch, and then he'll miss an easy pass. That was the story of Marquez Callaway's season, the entire season, up and down. I mean, it was like it was just like, it was just like the stock market, up and down, up and down. Deshaun's situation was fishy when he wanted out, and all of a sudden, McNair's lawyer buddies had all these clients bringing up charges. That is a good point, and I've heard people say that. And some people will say, oh, man, that's ridiculous. I don't think so. Like, if an owner is willing to give a coach $100,000, I will continue to be on that, even though nobody's talking about that right now. If the Miami Dolphins can be accused of giving Brian Flores, which, $100,000, okay, if we're going to make speculation, let's go ahead and put that out there. If we just so happen to have Tom Brady on a yacht and want Brian Flores to come out there, what's it to us to believe that an organization won't try to sabotage their own player if the player doesn't want to comply? I mean, we know that when it comes to ownership in the NFL, I mean, they can make the national media go to sleep. They can. Oh, we really getting all the stories? No, we not, man. If we getting what they want us to get. Seriously, I don't want anybody to believe like you think it's a coincidence. And yeah, I'm gonna say this too. You think it's a coincidence that the Catholic Church story came out about the New Orleans Saints and Gail Benson giving money to the Catholic Church, and probably talked about that about a day or two, and then the next thing you know, we talking about something else. How is that possible? That's a huge scandal, right? The owner of the Saints giving money to the Catholic Church, the same Catholic Church that done all these horrible things to these young boys, and nobody ain't saying anything about it. So anybody that believes that the owners and NFL can't manipulate these guys, manipulate the media to make them say and do what they want them to do, trust and believe. These dudes do their homework. When they draft a player, when they sign a player, they do their due diligence. I'm talking about they know if a guy stole bubble gum out of the corner store when he was 10. So you don't think if they know Deshaun Watson, maybe they know his shortcomings, his limitations, his weaknesses? Of course they do. I mean, they drafted him. You got to be an idiot or boo-boo the fool not to do your due diligence on a player. But nobody pays attention to that too. All right. TJ, you talking to a brick wall, and on top of that, let's keep it real. Race is a big factor. What about Big Ben in Pittsburgh? Honestly, I don't think race has anything to do with this Deshaun Watson situation. I just think that the society today, well, let me take that back. We never know if race is involved or not, but I think, and I said this earlier on the show, I think Big Ben Roethlisberger's situation was different because of the time. When we think about the times of Me Too movement and all that kind of stuff, it really happened and started when Bill Cosby and Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein, all those guys were out, right? You know, when Bill Cosby took the pills and put it in the cup, you know what I'm saying? That's when everybody was cracking jokes and everybody was like, man, time's up, Me Too movement. Big Ben Roethlisberger did not receive that type of backlash. Probably lucky for him. If that happened in this climate, in this day and age, trust and believe Big Ben Roethlisberger probably wouldn't be as celebrated as he was the last time he walked off the field in Hines. I'm telling you, man, like a lot of the situations that we're trying to compare, the world and society is completely different. The acceptance of certain situations have changed. So it's probably good for him. Tim, thank you very much for the $5. Says Deonte, Callaway, Traquan, Troutman, Lil Jordan all do not add up to one Jarvis Landry. Sell them all except for Thomas, and he's from NOLA. Well, look, I would keep a Deontay Harris. I mean, special teams and him being a dynamic player. I think that you need him, which we're about to talk about in a few minutes. But Traquan, kick rocks. Troutman, you have one more bad year, you can kick rocks. Lil Jordan, I like you, but if it came down to it, I wouldn't want to keep you if I can get something better. And Callaway, I like him too, but if I can get something better, I wouldn't keep him either. Seriously. I mean, look, I want some winners. I want some dogs out there. I ain't trying to put square pegs into round holes no more. Seriously, man. I ain't trying to put square pegs into round holes no more. Seriously. I'm not trying to make it work no more. We was making it work back in 2015. How that work? 2016, how that work? 2017, how that work? Give me some winners, give me some dogs for real. Vito in the house, thank you very much for the $1.99. Says, man, the chat be lit. Go ahead and hit that like. Please hit the like button. Look, if you're here and you're enjoying the podcast and you're enjoying the content, please hit the like button. I really appreciate that. If you all show love, if you love the show, I mean, just hit the like button, subscribe. I really would appreciate that. Just take a few seconds and just hit that like button. Ivan says, TJ, were you crying? Willie, hell yeah. Lil Jordan gets the yards after the catch. Yes, he does. Saints about to come through with 3 firsts, 2 seconds. Ruiz, Hill, Turner, a case of Hennessy, barbecue brisket, and some Bitcoin. Eugene, like, you know, one crazy thing that I heard today, I ain't gonna lie to you. It's not even the trade and what the Texans are willing to give up. The craziest thing I heard today was that Cesar Ruiz is highly regarded in circles in the National Football League. That may be one of the most laughable things I ever heard in my entire life. Cesar Ruiz is in good graces around the National Football League for what? Slipping and sliding, moonwalking, getting bullied, tripping over his own feet. I mean, if that's the case, yes. But the dude, I mean, come on, man. Like, what tape are y'all watching? Seriously. How many times has this dude did the cha-cha slide at the wedding? Y'all been in the cha-cha slide line, right? You know where, like, you know, slide to the left. Some, you know what I'm saying? You got some people went to the right where they say slide to the left. That's that's Cesar Ruiz, man. You know what I'm saying? Like the cha-cha slide say slide to the right, he slid to the left. He slid to the left and got out quarterback Drew Brees' ribs broken. I mean, he slid to the right and got Alvin Kamara actually pancaked and just bulldozed, ran over. I mean, the dude was a lead blocker on a stretch play, on a halfback toss, and the dude tripped over his own feet. Seriously, man. I mean, the dude is like, I don't know, Brian Bertano, you know, like Nancy Kerrigan. The man figure skating out there. But he's mentioned among the elites. Seriously, man. Like, what's it take to get, like, honestly, what does it take to get to the barbecue these days? If Cesar Ruiz got an invite. Seriously, man. Like, oh, but honestly, man, if you're going to take them smoking mirrors, be my guest. If you go believe that this dude going to get you anything except headache, heartache, and your quarterback hurt, be my guest. Cesar Ruiz mentioned among the best at anything when it comes to National Football League is a shock to me. Now, if he comes out year 3, okay, and he plays better, I will take back this statement. But as of right now, no, sir. I mean, the dude is figure skating out there and they playing football. There's a problem with that, folks. Right? You know, he asking what would Brian Bertano do? You know, Tim, thank you for the $5 again, man. I appreciate that. Let me stroll down a little bit. Faith-based workplace says, what you think about Honey Badger coming to us? I like the idea, man. Thank you for the $5. I love the idea. If we were to lose Marcus Williams, and if we just so happen to lose CJ Gardner-Johnson, which I would not want to do, you know, if they try to make a trade for Deshaun Watson. Rob, thank you very much for the $4.99. I really do appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Tim says, TJ, let them believe that I'll sell us, save us the trouble if we can get a good trade. Yeah, let them believe it, man. I'm serious, man. But the dude is not very good, man. Seriously, he's not very good. Right? I mean, I want him to be good. Of course, I want him to be good if he plays for the Saints. But the dude is not very good. Like, seriously, man, what if they been watching? I mean, y'all need Brian Baldinger out there, you know what I'm saying, to critique that. That's the only person I want to get to evaluate my offensive line. Watson already be doing the gritty as well. You can do it all you want here. Who that? We started that. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. They need to do something. And these receivers that we got, the quarterback, you know what I'm saying? We need that. Man, the Saints need some stuff, man. So he can do the gritty all day as long as he throwing more touchdowns than interceptions. I can see that. I'm 60-40 Watson because of all Deshaun said he wanted in a team, and even the Charlotte Observer said the Saints check all the boxes. Yeah. I mean, if the dude comes to New Orleans, people are going to be mad for a second. But as soon as they go out there and see that dynamic talent, they're going to get on board. I've been a Saints fan for a long time. This ain't my first barbecue, folks. This ain't my first picnic. I've seen so many people. Man, should we get this dude? No. Then all of a sudden the dude go out there and play, ball out. Man, he a beast, dog. He a beast, dog. I'm about to give me a jersey tomorrow, bro. Come on, man. Do we really care about anything these days? We're going to sound profound, boy. We're going to sound like Martin Luther King back in 62 when he stood, you know what I'm saying, when he stood inside some of them Baptist churches. We're going to sound like Martin Luther King when he stood in front of the Lincoln Memorial and told the world he had a dream. On social media, boy, we had a dream. We had a dream that Deshaun Watson would not play for the Saints. I had a dream that Deshaun Watson went somewhere else because of my moral compass. I had a dream today. Seriously, man. Like we all so profound on social media, but boy, behind closed doors, folks. Ruiz on the field throwing the Hall of Shake, pop like pop lock and drop it, pop lock and drop it. Thank you very much for the $4.99. Yeah, man, the dude is that man be slipping and sliding out there, man. Not slipping and sliding, he be slipping and sliding around that field, man. I'm for real, man. I'll be wondering, like, you know, like they used to have that old Astro turf back in the 90s. I'm wondering if Cesar Ruiz played with some jump mans with no spikes at the bottom. I'm just wondering, man. Like, does he have proper footing? Seriously, man, does he have proper footing? That's what I want to know. And then for somebody like Sean Payton, who really loves cleats, who sits up there all day and goes to the equipment room and talks about the guys having certain type of spikes and 3-inch spikes and 2-inch spikes and all that kind of stuff and what they need to have on. I mean, Cesar Ruiz, I'm wondering if he played out there in gym shoes. Seriously. Because the dude looked like he has a problem with footing. The problem is you need good footing if you're going to play an offensive lineman. If you're playing offensive lineman, you need some good footing. And this brother does not have it. Panthers rookies are their best players. Why would Watson want to go to a team where he won't win because the team got gutted in the trade? Watson doesn't want to go to the Panthers. I wouldn't want to go to the Panthers. The Panthers are not very good. They might be good. I mean, look, they showed promise earlier in the season. I mean, I thought for a minute they was going to be the best team in NFC South. But boy, when Sam Darnold, when the real Sam Darnold stood up, the rest was history. You forget that Sean Watson has a no trade clause, so the Texans can't trade him unless he okays it. That's true. If they suck at the presentation, Carolina or the Saints, he might decide to go somewhere else. Who that they say they're going to beat them Saints, everybody that beat them, look at the losing column of their record. Man, what are you talking about? The Saints have the second most wins in a regular season behind the Kansas City Chiefs. And that includes slapping around the Carolina Panthers probably since 2016? Like, what are we talking about here, man? Like, I get it, man. Like, the troll job, I respect that. I give you a round of applause. But come on, man. Like, have some dignity. Like, let's not come up with no lies here. Okay, we know that the Saints have owned the NFC South. Seriously, they have owned the NFC South. Every single team over the last 5 seasons the Saints have owned. That includes the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers were on a losing streak going up against the Saints. Then the last time they beat them in week 2? Carolina, man, come on, man. I look, I stay in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Out of all the teams in NFC South, I must say, Carolina Panther fans don't irritate me as Falcon fans, and I don't even want to say Buck fan. I call them the New England Bucks fans. But let's just be real about this, man. The Saints own the NFC South. They run the South. And it is even more sad because the Saints been owned the South last year with no freaking quarterback, no real true starting quarterback. 4 starting quarterbacks last season for the New Orleans Saints, and they still came out with a better record in NFC South. Something is wrong here. Something is wrong here, man. That's a problem. If y'all can't beat the Saints and they out there with spit and glue and, you know what I'm saying, some duct tape, and they still out there beating y'all, well, man, what's going on here, man? Seriously, what are we doing? Man, we losing our mind, man. We losing our mind here, man. We just coming up with stuff here. Man, the troll job was okay until you said that. Panthers keep getting pounded. Let's see. 26-7 with Sam Darnold. Don't ever forget. Look at the Panthers' losses and sweep them Bucks. Exactly. Yeah, I want Watson. I've been begging for Watson, but I said that to John. Yeah, I think a lot of people want Watson, but I would not be mad if the New Orleans Saints sign Jameis Winston. Do not sell your soul if you don't have a backup plan. Now, there's some things that can possibly happen. I mean, you got to keep in mind Sean Payton. If Sean Payton comes back into the league, right? If he comes back next year and he signs with a team, and the Saints have to okay that, and if the Saints can get some trade capital for it, right? So if you lose a first round pick, you could probably get another first round pick from another team if that team wants to acquire Sean Payton. So there's some ways around it now. TJ, to be honest, Ruiz is out there with a dragster, slick on his feet, no cleats. I don't know what he got on, man. That man must got some felines on or something, And if you ever play basketball with felines, man, you slide. Okay, there's very little grip. Okay, you know what I'm saying? You walk on a concrete with some felines for about a week and try to go play some ball. Them shoes are done. You don't even have felines no more. You got bowling shoes. All right. Raiders might as well be called the Nomads. They move so much. Look, man, I think the Raiders moving to Las Vegas was a good move. It was a good move for them, and they got a hell of a stadium out there, man. So I ain't mad at them, man. I expect for the Raiders to do something. I mean, they did make the playoffs now. They did make the playoffs. You got to give them some credit. We beat them with a broken down Taysom. My Raiders beat you Saints the last 2 times we played y'all. That is true. That is true, though. We can't take that away from them. So, yeah, that is a fact. So, I mean, they beat the Saints inside the Superdome a couple years ago. They beat them, in Las Vegas. And, I mean, pretty decisively, too. I mean, that game, they lost by 10 points, but that game wasn't close, man. The Saints kind of made it more respectable during garbage time. But yeah, you got a point. I can't say anything about that. You got a good point. And they played against a COVID team. The Little Giants could have won that game. Look, man, all I know is they won. I'm gonna give them that. I'm not gonna sit up here and dispute what was factual. What happened to Slant Boy? I don't know what happened to him. Was he hurt? I don't think he played in that game because you got to remember, week 1, he ended up messing his ankle up against the Bucks. He didn't play in that game. He didn't. Yeah, he didn't play in that game. Crazy idea. Get Watson and Winston as backup. Honestly, it might come to that. Seriously, it might come to that. I mean, how many more teams are out there that's looking for starters? Indianapolis. Indianapolis is like the only team that's left. Pittsburgh, we're going to get Mitchell Trubisky. The Commanders got Carson Wentz. Miami, they got Tua Tagovailoa, right? The Indianapolis Colts, the only team out there right now, if he doesn't sign with the Saints. And from all indications, they're saying that the Colts are looking at Jimmy Garoppolo. So if he doesn't sign with the Indianapolis Colts, he might be on the outside looking in. Now, I mean, Seattle is an option too. Now, Seattle might want to pay Jameis to come out there and play starting quarterback. So there are, Indianapolis, Seattle, like the only teams, if they're not committed to Drew Lock, which I don't believe that they are, but Seattle can draft a quarterback. They can get Malik Willis, or they can get Kenny Pickett. I mean, they got Denver's draft pick, which I think is like number 8 or 9. So there'll be a quarterback there for them. So if they don't want to get Jameis and they want to get a starting quarterback, which if they want to sign Jameis to be a bridge player, which I don't feel like that's fair to Jameis, then he could sign with him. But I think Jameis deserves to be a starter on somebody's team. Indy got Minshew. Well, that solves that. Gardner Minshew is a solid starting quarterback. He's a likable guy. I think that people want to, play with him. I think he's a good locker room guy. He gives me Ryan Fitzpatrick vibes. Not so much about his play, but his likability. I mean, so Gardner Minshew to me is a starter. Now, I think Frank Reich can bring out the best in him. Frank Reich, to me, there's a few guys out there that can be those quarterback whisperers and get that full potential out of them. It's Sean McVay, it's Kyle Shanahan, it's Andy Reid, and it's Frank Reich. Sean Payton is no longer in the league. So Frank Reich, we got to remember, man, he had Nick Foles being a Super Bowl MVP. He had Carson Wentz. I know Carson Wentz didn't lead the Indianapolis Colts to the playoffs, but he had a really good year statistically. He had some really good stats. He had single-digit interceptions. I think he had maybe like 20, 21 touchdowns, probably a little bit more than that. And this last time he played, on an MVP level, Frank Reich was his quarterback coach, his offensive coordinator. And Carson Wentz was playing at an MVP level. So, I mean, it might be what the doctor ordered for Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew just needs an opportunity. Every time Brady see the Saints, he think of retirement. So, Fingers, not the one on the display by the bakery. I like Minshew, but he got 40-year-old Breeze home at 26. Oh, man. Look, I ain't gonna let y'all disrespect my boy Gardner Minshew like that, man. I like him, man. I like him. I'm gonna go ahead and head out. We're gonna see what happens tomorrow, though. God bless everybody. Yeah, man, we about to go ahead and head out too. I'm gonna take a few more questions or comments, and then we're gonna go ahead and head out. John said no, he thinks of retirement when he plays the Rams last time I checked. Man, they almost came back in that game with the Rams. And not to mention they almost forced a fumble. So I don't think he's too much scared of the Rams. I think that's one of the reasons he decided to come back. That and he wanted to hear, his name called again, I mean, the guy has an ego. So I think when, he realized that league goes on, right? I mean, no matter how great you are, you retire, that's it. You know what I'm saying? There's some guys that's willing to step up. And I think he saw that. Those jokers right there on the plastic hanger. Oh man, y'all boys are crazy, man. The Raiders got 2 firsts and 2 seconds for John Gruden as their head coach. Yep. I mean, what you think they'll get for Sean Payton in this climate? You might get 3 first. You might get 3 first for that. TJ, I think opponent fans look at the Saints as a measure of excellence. They should. And we should take pride in that in a Who Dat Nation. We should. And they should, right? Saints are a good football team. I mean, but man, I don't want just a good football team. I want a great football team. And I want to see some winning, man. I want to see some winning. What are the chances of signing Landry before Wednesday? I think there's a strong chance because there's only 2 teams that he really paying attention to, and that's the Saints and the Chiefs. And look, I think we have to also look at this too. Guys that are free agents want to go somewhere where they feel like they can win. If the Saints were to trade for Deshaun Watson, that would make the New Orleans Saints more appealing. If the Saints were to sign Jameis Winston, he has one of his best career years. That would make the team more appealing for free agents to feel like if I'm a receiver, I can get the ball because Jameis is going to give it to me or Deshaun is going to give it to me, right? You know, I mean, nobody ain't trying to come to no Saints. I think that's one of the main reasons. If Jameis was the quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, Odell Beckham is not going to the Rams. Seriously. You have an opportunity to play at home and help your team become a playoff contender. And with that defense, if Deshaun Watson or Jameis Winston in last year, I would say Jameis Winston last year, if he would have been a starting quarterback, there's no way in the world, in my opinion, Odell Beckham Jr. would have went to the Rams. Seriously. But you got you got Taysom Hill throwing you the ball, man. Seriously, you got Trevor Siemian. You rather have Trevor Siemian or Taysom Hill throwing you the ball or Matthew Stafford, and you can live in Los Angeles? I mean, Los Angeles itself is already a recruiting tool. Beautiful weather, beautiful scenery. You know what I'm saying? Like, Hollywood. There's nowhere in the world if Jameis Winston would have been a quarterback. And I'll go even a little further. If Jameis Winston was the starting quarterback, Michael Thomas is coming back. I don't care if he ain't 100%. I don't care if he 80%. I don't care if he 85%. It made Michael Thomas make that decision even more clear for him. Michael Thomas, to me, if Jameis Winston would have never been hurt, I feel like the Saints probably would have acquired Odell Beckham Jr. along with Michael Thomas. I mean, but quarterbacks matter, man. Quarterbacks matter. Like guys want to believe that they're going to win. TJ, I thought it was Wednesday with Watson. Oh, I don't know. I don't know about all that. I don't think I put a date on it. I think people, may have said that. And man, all these people that's pretending to be insiders, man, my goodness, man. Like, man, I pray for these individuals, man. Like the people that would do anything for some clout and some attention. You got a guy out here on social media. The man like created an Adam Schefter page just to sound like he Adam Schefter to try to get people to follow his page. I mean, it's pretty sad out here. Brady retired. You don't hear nothing about the Bucks. Brady unretired Bucks everywhere. Now they fans again. Yeah, they sure went hiding. I ain't really see too many Bucks fans on the timeline. Now all of a sudden he back. Now all of a sudden they back. We back, baby. We back. Them boys went in the dark room. Brady came back. They turned the light on. Los Angeles is cool till your GPS tells you to make a wrong turn. Yeah, I like Los Angeles, man. I think that Los Angeles is a place I would like to visit at least once a year. It's a beautiful place. I enjoyed my time when I went there. And I definitely want to go back there again. Like me and my wife, we supposed to be going to Vegas in a few months. I want to check out Usher. I just like the West Coast, man. It's a different vibe out there. But like I said, I just think that Jameis would have made it more appealing. Just got here. What are your thoughts on Ryan Ramczyk getting traded for Watson? I think it's a blow, a double blow if Armstead walks. Man, look, losing Ramczyk would be huge. Okay, to me, Ryan Ramczyk one of the most important players on the team. I just think that he's a cornerstone guy. He is a guy that has Hall of Fame talent. And if you lose him, you're losing something huge, ginormous, ambiguous. Okay. I really do, because there's no guarantee that you're going to keep Armstead. You might not have enough money to do so. But before I get out of here, I forgot I had to mention this. Deontay Harris, the Saints have put a second round tender on Deontay Harris. If a team wants to acquire Deontay Harris, that means that the Saints would get a second round pick. Now, the Saints, if a team offers a contract to Deontay Harris, the Saints can match it. They have opportunity to match it. And if the Saints can't, then the Saints get that team's second round pick. So I don't believe that a team is going to be willing to pay a second round pick for Deontay Harris. If he stays with the Saints this year, he'll make $3.9 million. Look, I think Deontay Harris is good enough to make $3.9 million for the Saints. He's a good return guy, even though I feel like he took a step back last season. I think that he was dealing with some injuries. His ability to make those cuts and be as dynamic as he was in his rookie year, I think that, it kind of took a toll on him. He's a small guy, man. So, I mean, you got to think about a small guy taking those type of hits. I mean, it's a physical football game. 170-pound, 160-pound guy taking hits from 300-pound dudes. It's going to be tough for him. But I think that Deontay Harris, there's a place for him. And I think with the right quarterback, he can be dynamic. When Jameis was the quarterback, you seen Deontay Harris get into his bag. You seen him make more plays. When Jameis left, that's when you start to see, his production kind of take a little bit of a decline. So I would pay him $3.9 million. I think that he's worth it. He's a game changer. How many games have we seen Deontay Harris switch the field and work in order for it to work in the Saints' favor? So I would pay him, and I don't think anybody's going to give up a second round pick for him. Tim, thank you very much for $5. Said TJ, his wife, and Usher reminds me of the Boondock episode. Oh man, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's actually supposed to be my wife, her best friend, and her best friend's husband. It's supposed to be, kind of, a double date type thing, out in Las Vegas. But that's a couple months from now. I think he has a residency out in Las Vegas. Thought it would be cool, and she heard me, man. Shouts out to my wife, man. She knew that I thought it would be pretty dope, and she kind of got the trip together. So shouts out to her. We'll end with this one. Brandon says having Watson, Thomas, Landry, and possibly Odell Beckham Jr. would be an interesting offense to watch. How many points per game do you think we would average? Ooh. Man, if everybody keep their ego in check, quite a bit. But you got, when you got that type of talent on the team, man, you got to make sure guys' egos stay in check. You got to have your ego in check. You can't, nothing is worse when a guy knows he's capable of knowing more and he's not getting the ball. So if everybody keep their egos in check, they probably can average about 32 or 35 points a game. Right? If dudes don't keep their ego in check, 20, 24, maybe somebody get traded or act for their release, but it would be pretty interesting if that was to happen, but I don't think so. Too many egos right there. Too many egos. Any chance Bill O'Brien has any effect on the Deshaun Watson trade? Absolutely, positively none. But I want to thank everybody for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Really do appreciate it. This was a fun show, man. It's been a while since I actually did a show at night. I always normally been doing shows during the day, but I might start doing more night shows, man. I don't be want to step on anybody's toes. I know some people, they have their shows set at this time. I'm more of a free spirit type podcast. Anytime I'm motivated to do a podcast, I would, do one. And I don't mean, if I'm stepping on anybody's toes, I apologize. I don't mean to do that. Just like I said, I'm just a little bit of a free spirit. I was motivated to do a show. And, I just, hope everybody enjoyed it. Please hit that like button. Please, show love. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have not already. You can go to facebook.com, search The State of the Saints podcast. The episode will be posted on a community page. Make sure y'all check that out. Previous episodes available on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM. Much love to you. Also, we're part of the Pigskin Podcast Network, and we're brought to you by the fine folks at manscaped.com. Use the promo code State of Saints and save 20% off. Till next time, all I got to say is, who dat?